one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go Navy.
Go Navy. Oh, I like it. All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Hoffman.
Here.
Fred Catcott.
Here.
Timothy Gardner. Here. Janice Tyler. Here. Brian Butts.
Here.
Ike Skelton.
Here.
James Gohagan.
Here.
Jacob Nucci.
Here.
Bob Van Hook. Here. Chief Paul Berardi.
All right, looks like we got a full house. Excellent. Thanks for.
Bum, bum, bum.
Eva Crane.
Now we have a full house. All right, we're going to be continuing this from April 1st. This is still open, and the public is going to have comment tonight. There are no presentations. I am going to open the floor up for everyone to come up and speak. We're going to keep it to 3 minutes. At the end, Chris Foster is going to come up, and we'll open it up to questions to him. I would ask that if we have questions for any of the public, we hold it to the end of their 3 minutes, and then I'll ask the commissioners if they have questions for this person, and if not, we'll move on. And to kick it off, if we could get an update from Mr. Spikerman, please.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Hoffman. As you mentioned, there's no presentations tonight. We did receive a revised redevelopment plan a few hours ago. So we'll be spending the next couple of days reviewing that. And prior to the end of this meeting, the city's request would be that we continue this public hearing to another date. Under the TIF Act, once we've reviewed a final redevelopment plan, we do have to give some notices of revisions to the taxing districts, and that takes about a week. So we'd be looking at a request to continue this public hearing again until May 12th or a day that works for the commissioners somewhere around then.
Excellent. Just to kind of clarify that, there's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes. We were hoping to maybe get this done on Thursday or Friday. There were just a couple little things that didn't quite get handled until late, and we need to follow the rules of the state, which is why at the end we will be entertaining a motion to continue to May 12th. This is a date that works for the school board members, the commissioners, the developer, and our staff. So that being said, I would like to open it up to anyone from the public who'd like to come up. Please sign in, and you've got 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Sean Scheffler, and I used to be employed with the Eddie Bauer store at the Osage Beach Premium Outlet Mall and Marketplace. I want to thank you, Chairman and Commissioners, for the honor to be able to stand here today in front of you. This is the second time that I've had such an honor to be able to talk about the importance of the mall to our community. The last time I spoke to you, I was actually defending a team of people that I had worked with for years, and it was their jobs that were online, and I wanted to speak to you about that. Today, I'm actually speaking to you as a victim of the inaction of the things that are taking place with the mall. As in March, my job ended at Eddie Bauer after 9 years. Having spent 33 years in retail, my career ended, and at my age of 52, finding another job in the mall has become very, very difficult. My team was made up of people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who I gladly employed to be a part of our team who served this community well. And now they are unable to find jobs because the ability to find other stores in the mall to go to work at, which has always been our go-to, is just not there. I looked at something on our website about the city of Osage Beach. It says the heart of Lake of the Ozarks, and I'd like to speak to the heart of this town and community. You see, to me, at the heart of this, spending 33 years in this beautiful town serving people would be that mall. And I know that there are other things that make up this heart, but without the mall, our heart is tremendously suffering. I found that each one of you and our elected officials have to deal with millions of dollars, and those decisions are heavy that you have to make, and I'm so glad you're making those and I don't have to. But millions aren't made without thousands, and thousands are not made without one. So I would like to speak to the one. That's your one vote today. That's me. You're representing me in this. And so I would like to let you know that lives are dependent upon that mall. At the peak of the mall, there were over 1,400 employees. Many of those people who are no longer in this area because they cannot find the employment that is required. Because you see, our jobs provided health insurance and coverage for our family. It provided great pay and stuff that we could count on year-round. That is almost all completely gone. And so when your vote is being made, please consider the one person who that might impact in this. This last weekend, I had the great privilege of shopping in Springfield, Missouri. My wife and I went on a date to Branson, and we stopped in at Bass Pro. It was bustling. There were people everywhere. I saw something that reminded me of what retail is all about. The cash registers were ringing, the boat center, the clothing, the food, the restaurants, the people just enjoying family time, and that is what's missing at the heart of Lake of the Ozarks. I wish that that comes back. One last thing. I spent hundreds of dollars in Branson last weekend. When I spoke to you the last time, I told you that I spent 80% of my income in the city of Osage Beach because I worked here, I lived here, I bought groceries. I didn't live here, but I bought groceries. I spent all of that money. Today, less than 15% of my income is spent in Osage Beach because I had to move to a different place to get a job. I want to come back to Osage Beach. And I would like to ask that this board would consider bringing home our mall and making sure that the ones that have not had a job, that loved retail, that loved working with people, would be able to have that opportunity again and be able to serve in the heart of the Ozarks. Thank you for your time. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Any questions for this citizen? All right, seeing none, thank you very much. Floor is open. Who is next? Oh, thought you were coming on down, no? Okay.
I'm Vicki Simbro. Been a resident here for 27 years. Would really like to see them all back, but there are lots of concerns. Bass Pro is great for all you guys who like to fish, but I like to shop with the girls to come visit. So who knows what's going to be in the mall for us girls? We can't get any kind of information from anybody. I tried looking it up online. I don't know who, I didn't write it all down. LLC is, there's like 5 different names of who's doing this. Foster Chris, I read his little interview that he had online this week. But he didn't tell us anything in that interview that we didn't already know anyway. So we're still kind of out to lunch with what's going to be in the mall. It would just be nice for the residents here to get an idea of what kind of stores are going to be there. Is it all going to be just like it was before? Because like it was before was great. You had a little bit of everything. You had tools for the boys, you had shops for us girls, you had jockey, you had a purse store, you had different kinds of things. So I think that's a good thing. My only concern too is, which the city's having trouble with the sewer issue anyway. So that's a concern for me, is the amount of people, since we're having $46 million that's going to have to fix the new sewer system so we don't stink here, is what they say is $46 million to fix this whole sewer system. Osage Beach, how they're going to come up with that money, I have no clue. The TIF, I mean, are we always going to give money out to everybody and the developers can't pay for everything themselves? I live right there by the mall, so transportation in and out of the mall, how's that going to work? Is it going to be congested? I guess living on this side of the bridge, it's concerning because of the oasis that's there. So there's just lots of concerns. I'm not against them all. I just would like, as a resident, to have some sort of an idea of what kind of stores are going to be in there. And yeah, it's all under NDAs, but is that really true, or is there really not leases yet? We really do we know? Do we really not know? Because it's all a secret. And that's all I need to say.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the public? Now's your time. No?
Could I just clarify? I'm not under an NDA, just so you know. We got asked about that a lot at our meeting today.
Yeah, I guess I will just address the last citizen. You know, I don't know either. And I'm on city council and I'm on this board, and that is for the developer. And when they're under NDA, they're protecting their business and their development. So I'm anxious to hear that myself, but right now we have to respect their plan. All right, that being said, no one else from the public, I would like to invite Mr. Foster up to take the stand, if you could, please.
Thank you, Alderman Hoffman. Yeah, and so just addressing some of the comments as far as jobs, when they said there was 1,400 jobs there in the past. Once the project is redeveloped, there will be a total of 1,600 full-time jobs, $55 million in payrolls. Total economic impact to the community off this project is $300 million a year. So when we're looking at what will come back, it will be a very dynamic change, and you'll see this property performing better than it once did before. You know, speaking to congestion, we will see the congestion that we saw when the mall was back when it was the old days. I mean, like the glory days of the mall. It will really bring everything back. You know, some of the other things when we were working through details and market studies, and these are germane to our project, but also I thought I'd share them with you. And we have commissioned a study from JLL. Jones Lang LaSalle is an international firm that does a lot of projects across the globe. One of the small points that I thought was very interesting, 60% of all the hotels at Lake of the Ozarks were built before 1970. And only one hotel has been built since 2010. So when you look at right now, what we need to be doing is focusing on the future and focusing on not just the growth, but also reinvigorating all the current stock that's at the Lake of the Ozarks right now. In addition to, you know, the full-time jobs that are there, there's over 3,000 construction jobs. There is a myriad of stores, and I know in the interview that I did with Lake TV earlier this week, we are under NDA. So we look forward to telling everybody what's coming, and I will tell you, it is a full scope of stores that everybody is going to love. These are nationally recognized, very reputable stores for men, women, everybody. It'll be a cornucopia of shopping for everybody to come down and spend their good hard dollars at in Osage Beach. So we look forward to that, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have.
But real quick, before we jump to questions, because I jumped over this after roll call, do you want to do that now or want to do it at the end? Okay. All right, so we'll open this up to questions. Mr. Spikerman, are you still with us too?
I am.
In case any of these questions are directed to you, if we would, just start over here to the left.
What is the delay?
So if you're asking me the delay?
Whomever, you or Mr.
Okay.
Spikerman.
Well, there's several details that we've been working with on the city to make sure that this will go through as expediently as possible. We have made those changes. We submitted those changes earlier today. So we should be having a vote on May 12th. I mean, that's the plan.
Excellent.
In the discussion with, you know, city staff, city elected officials, you know, we're on that track.
There are a lot of moving parts.
Yes.
Thank you.
Will we have to be here for May 12th?
Yes,
Okay.
you will need to vote.
Kind of to speak to what, you know, I'm not ever usually a fan of TIFs. I've denied plenty of them, but I truly believe, I'm also a former mall employee too, just like Chris.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, there's a lot of former mall employees. So I really remember it in its heyday and remember how, what that felt like. I'm very nostalgic for it, I guess. I think about it a lot, and I do truly believe that that property is blighted and it needs to be revitalized. And, you know, whatever mechanism or tools you guys are figuring all that out, I'm not under an NDA. I'd like to say that again. But yeah, I mean, I support you guys. I hope you figure it out sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
Mr. Nucci? Or Mr. Butts, either one?
Also a former mall employee.
Wow.
So,
How'd we end up
Record, I'm not a former mall employee.
Nor am I.
we said in the school board we have our policy, but I would like to see them all revitalized. So
Thank you.
Mr. Butts, anything?
Not a former mall employee, but I spent a lot of time there and a lot of money there over the years. So it really was, and I hope will be one day, an anchor for the community. It was the sole reason for a very long time that people would come to Osage Beach. And so I think that's something that the community needs back. I will also say that this is what TIF legislation was designed to be. You're not blighting property because a little bit of paint is nicked off of a guardrail. I mean, that property is truly blighted, and it's hurting the community. It's hurting the surrounding property owners and the surrounding business owners in its current condition, and it's going to continue to get worse because at this point, without somebody coming in and doing similar to what you're proposing, it's just going to keep rotting. So I'm not a big fan of TIFs either, traditionally, but this is 100% what they are intended to do. Take a piece of property that is hurting the community and make it to what it once was, or make it an asset. So I'm still, we may have a window, but it's very, very narrow. And I'm still kind of researching that, but unfortunately, due to our board policy, Mr. Nucci and I probably will have to vote no, but I think we both will publicly support the project, assuming everything looks good when we
I
actually
appreciate
get the
that.
final version in.
Thank you for your support.
Excellent. And from the Starboard Watch,
Former shopper at the mall.
Got to give your credentials.
Love Annie Ann's pretzels and all the other stuff. It's a great place. Half my wardrobe came from Eddie Bauer, because it's a great product. I hope they come back. But I have one question relating back to our last meeting. You had indicated that you were working on a lease with Bass Pro.
Correct.
And you hadn't completed it yet?
Yeah, so.
How was that lease looking? Even if it was contingent upon getting the TIF, that would be a plus.
Yeah, and on that lease, it's, continue to work on it. We're very close, so, I mean, it'll be signed, I'd say, within a month, we'll have that signed. Be our best guess, so, we have multiple calls that we're still working out, some of just the very minor details. So let's say the grand scheme of the structure of everything is agreed to, and it's very minute details. I'm not sure what I can disclose on that, but I can happily tell you that, Bass Pro is fully engaged, very excited about the project, and the size of this Bass Pro is twice the size of Branson. It's actually, I think, bigger than Columbia. So this is a real opportunity that, we need to focus on to get it, through the process as fast as possible.
Well, I wish, for your sake and the city's sake, and the county's sake, that we get this, because it was a huge tax revenue source for the city, and just an awesome place for people to come. Destination. Not, for the shoppers of the state, it was a destination, so good
Thank
luck,
you.
Chris.
No, I appreciate your comments too. Thank you very much.
I was never employed at the mall. We supported the mall with lots and lots of purchases over the years. There's no question that it is a blighted area, and I agree that from a TIF perspective, and And, you know, we catch the comments in the public about TIFs and this and that, but the reality of it is, that is what this was meant to be. I am anxious, and I hope that in May, or whenever this is continued, that we'll have an opportunity of seeing more of what the intention is for your development beyond Bass Pro, who the others are going to be. One question, I'm assuming that you had there's been some studies completed on how many hotel rooms, for example, that this community should support, considering that I believe the Marriott is going to add, what, 400 at the
Roughly.
Oasis? What that does as far as your comment concerning the hotel situation?
No, there's a substantial demand for new hotel product at the Lake of the Ozarks in general. So we would have about 1,000 total new units to come to the market. And if you look at, bringing up the fact that there is 60% of all the hotel rooms, about 3,000, I think 3,200 exactly, somewhere around there, total at Lake of the Ozarks, 60% of those are built before 1970. So I'm trying to think when the Holiday Inn Express across the street was built. I think that was late 90s, early 2000s. And that's one of the newest hotels, in the general area. I can't think off the top of my head of what the newest hotel was, but when you look at our hotel stock, most of everything is over a quarter century old just here in Osage Beach. And Quail's Nest, for example, was built in the 1960s, next door to the Osage Village Inn in the 90s. And down the street, it's all within the 90s and 2000s is when some of the newer hotels were built. Some of those other hotels that were built in the Osage Beach area have gone offline or gone non-branded. But having branded hotels, when people go on vacation, they want to go and use their honor points at, say, Hilton or Marriott. We have a tremendous opportunity to elevate the Lake of the Ozarks. Specifically with this project, the Lakeport project, Lake Oasis, is, it's on track. It's going to be open here soon. We will see a very truly different change of Osage Beach here in the next couple of years. And we look forward to be part of that.
Thank you. And by the way, I was built in 1951, and I don't think that I'm ready to be retired yet.
Well, we've shared that study with the city, and we will share it with you so that you guys will have it, so you can take a look at it. I can tell you, the average daily rates that they have put in this market are $250 a night. That's a higher rate than people are looking at spending now, but people want to come and have a nicer facility. They want to have nicer new hotels, and that's a big market that's lagging right now. I think there was a study done before that there is a demand for about 2,000 new branded hotel rooms in Lake of the Ozarks. So even with the 1,000 that are coming online with the Marriott and with our project, we're only halfway there.
Thank you.
Yep.
Commissioner Tyler?
I'm a neighbor,
Yes.
former neighbor of the mall, and it was one of the most fantastic things that ever happened in the area. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the plans.
Yeah. We're looking forward to sharing it with you. And just curious, when was your hotel built?
When?
Yes.
It was 1964, I think.
Okay.
And of course, it's no longer there.
Yes.
But, yeah, I was in that range. But looking forward to seeing re-growing.
Thank you.
So I'm a neighbor also. We're right across the street from the outlet mall, and when people call our business and ask where we're located, we say we're across from the outlet mall on the corner of Beaver Road. Some people don't even know what mall.
Really?
Yeah, people that are like newer to the area or looking forward to coming back. Really looking forward to seeing
Excellent, thank you.
Commissioner Van Hook?
Yes, you've answered quite a few questions that I had in mind, but I do have a few. I moved out here in 1969, so I've seen a lot of changes, especially Highway 54 and what is now Parkway. Back when, I remember back when the mall was built, back when I had several friends that worked on it. And, I know what it did to the Lake area in the past and how it improved it from where before was nothing. So, yeah, and everybody else spoke in general says it's well needed at the Lake area, and I have to agree with that. I just hope we can, the guidelines to get this project passed.
Excellent, I appreciate the comment.
Okay, any last questions for Mr. Foster or Mr. Spikerman, or? No, seeing none. Mr. Foster, thank you.
Thank you.
I would just want to, sir, you have your hand up. Are you? Okay, the floor recognizes you. Come up and. A little out of procedure.
Hi, my name is Bill Toomey. I'm resident here of Osage Beach for the past 6 years. And before that, I vacationed here several weeks every year. My question is as to this mall. Is this plan set in stone, or is there still a possibility to propose another kind of improvement, or to know what something else would be possible after it's fully approved?
Well, this is solely on the developer to make those determinations, and they submit the plans to us, and then we either approve them or do not. So I would find it very unlikely that some other development would be coming in, because I think we're all in on this one.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. All right. Sure, come on up. This is the night to do it. The floor recognizes you.
Thanks. I'm sitting back there thinking about the future. Would that look to Chris, you guys talking with your eyes or something? There's some questions on here about low jobs and who's and where they're going to be housed. Since COVID, our population has quadrupled, or at least doubled any which way. So when he talks about the way in and the way out, there's a lot more people here. I mean, we have enough trouble just getting to Camdenton when we're in full season. So that is a concern for me, as well as being close to the bridge and everything else there. I was trying to find out who's the developer to put the stores in. Is that Horizon or somebody else? Because when you're trying to get information just so you can compare maybe what you're going to bring here to if there's anything else you've done, or your developers, or the RDM realtor guy, Mr. McMahon, I think his name is. It's just nice to be able to look back to see if they've done stuff elsewhere to get an idea of the building, of what's going to happen. And then there's the parking. So if the Bass Pro is going to be twice the size of what's in Branson, and the shops are going to be a lot more even that way, where's all the parking going to be with the amount of people that we draw here, especially with the Oasis, which, I don't know. And according to some things I've read online, the plan is nothing's going to be really open around here till 2031. I don't know if that's too late or what, but that's just what I've been reading online about these projects that don't get going. So, and then beyond it, that's a whole nother subject, is the income tax thing that we're all facing with the big decision coming up in November, and the sales tax that's going to be applied to if that goes through.
Well, Miss, if we could stay on task here, we're not addressing that.
The sales tax is a product of the us buying
Income
and
tax
paying.
is not.
Okay, Justin.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so a couple of comments I'd like to make before we have a couple motions here. One, this is from when I was fortunate enough to go up and meet with their team, the Bass Pro team, and that was back in September. they were anticipating, and this is just numbers that came up in conversation, 1 million shoppers coming. And that, of course, just piques your interest. Like, wow, that's a lot of new traffic. That's what we're looking for. So the first thing I asked them was, well, where are you going to get the people to work there? You know, where are they going to live? And their estimation, their average drive time for someone that works at a Bass Pro is 40 minutes. So they do not look at it as we need to build apartments right next to Bass Pro. They look at it as there's housing from Jeff City all the way to Lebanon, and that's where these people are going to live. And that makes sense to me. You know, of course, we'd all like to drive 10 minutes to work. That's not really the reality. And with a business this large, development this large, that's the way the plan is unfolding. And I for one, support that. My last thing is, you know, when we started this process, there was probably 200 line items for this TIF. Maybe more, maybe less, but that's a pretty good round number to start with. April 1st, we were probably down to about 12 or 15. And in the last 2 to 3 weeks, we've made all this progress down to 1 or 2 last things. And the reason we're having to continue it is those 1 or 2 last things we all consider to be pretty important, and it took an extra couple days to get them done. Or we were happily going to get this up here to vote on. But I think it's more important to dot our I's, cross our T's, get it right for the developer, get it right for our citizens, and vote on this May 12th. So that all being said, I would like to entertain a motion to ratify the minutes.
2 minutes later.
You want to do that after?
Yeah, we'll do that after.
Keep pushing it back on me. All right.
Since we're in the middle of a public hearing.
So do we need to close the hearing or no?
No, it would be a motion to continue the public hearing
All right,
to
so-
May 12th at 5:30 at City Hall.
Okay, so we'd like to entertain a motion from a board member to continue the hearing to 5:30 PM on May 12th.
At City Hall.
At City Hall.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Aye.
All right. Oh, it says roll call here. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No? All right, any last comments from any of the board members?
Now we need to do minutes.
Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes from April 1st.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and one last motion, if I could, to adjourn.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. Oh, go ahead.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. See you May 12th.